so today we're making fresh sausage rolls. All right, these are some that I've made earlier. We're using pork sausage meat, but again, you don't have to use pork. You could fill the sausage, the rolls with anything you'd like. Okay, as ever, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to wash our hands. Okay, today and every day we have to wash our hands a lot. Before we eat food, before we touch food, before we prepare food, we must wash our hands, all right? And it's a really good idea to put on an apron, wear an apron, keep yourself lovely and clean, and keep the food clean too. Okay, so again, you can make your sausage rolls the way you'd like. I'm going to use some raw pork sausage meat, all right? I'm actually using it from sausages, but you can buy sausage meat. I've got some herbs. I've got some dried oregano. I've got pepper. I've got some fresh herbs as well, all right, which is a mixture of coriander and chives. I've got some spring onions. I thought that would be rather nice. And I've got an egg, because the egg is going to bind it all together. And I'm using puff pastry, all right, which I've bought. Shop bought puff pastry, okay? Need to keep the puff pastry in the fridge until you need it. It comes in one big roll like this, all right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start, I don't need a lot of equipment, this is true. I need a mixing bowl, a fork, a spoon, maybe a sharp knife, and a timer, all right? The sharp knife I'm going to use because I'm going to cut down, actually I'm going to cut down the middle here, like that, of the pastry. And I've cut down the middle of the sausages just to take the skin off the sausages, all right? So I'm just using the sausage meat, all right? So I'm just taking off the skins because they wouldn't be very nice in the sausage roll. So I'm going to put that straight in. I must be very, very careful now because I'm using raw meat, all right? So straight after I've done this, I'm going to wash my hands because I'm using raw meat. If you use raw meat or you chop with raw meat or anything to do with raw meat, you must use a red board, all right? So I'm just going to quickly give my hands a nice wash in some lovely hot water, which is great, all right, and a wipe. Okay, so very quickly, I'm going to mash up my sausage meat. I'm going to add, I'm going to grab a teaspoon actually. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. All right, I'm going to add some oregano because I think that's nice. I'm going to add some spring onions. I'm going to add some herbs. Yummo. Okay, I'm going to give that a really good mix. Like that. And what I'm going to do, just to bind this all together and make it a little bit more delicious and have a bit of glue to stick it all together, I'm going to just break one egg into this bowl. Always break your egg into a separate bowl, never into that bowl, in case the egg is bad or the egg might have shell in it. We don't want that. I'm going to whisk up the egg like that. I'm going to then take the one sheet of puff pastry. I'm going to now get my hands in there because my hands are lovely and clean and I can get my hands in, and I'm going to make a roll of the sausage meat. Get all that out, yum. Gonna roll it out and put it down the center of the pastry. Okay, like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that egg and I am just going to wash the sides. This is my glue. Like that. Okay, and I'm going to roll it up. So I'm going to take it. Might be an idea actually to put some flour underneath it next time, particularly if it's going to stick. And I'm going to squeeze it so that all the sausage meat is running along inside like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some small little vertical cuts down the pastry. I'm going to take the egg again and just wash the top. This is going to give it a beautiful glaze so that when they come out, they're lovely and golden brown. And then I'm just going to cut them into small pieces because I like small sausage rolls. I don't really like huge ones because they just don't go in your mouth very nicely. So make them a little bit smaller. You pick those up and you pop them onto the paper. They'll go into the oven and they will cook at a hot temperature, about 220, for about 20 minutes. You've got to be careful because you can't eat raw meat, and particularly this being pork. So you've got to be careful. Make sure that the meat is properly cooked, the pastry golden brown and puffed up, and then you will have your beautiful sausage rolls, homemade. So once they've done, onto the baking sheet, and this is how they'll look when they come out. Happy.